But anyway, so I was kind of shocked at the beginning that they decided to put Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson in the opener. But at the end of the match, it kind of made all the sense. On White opened the match, and it also got to one of the reason was about the finish. Seeing the finish, it made sense for it being an opener. But about the match, was it a
Also,
classic?
the crowd. Also, I mean, before I answer that, I'm sorry. Also, the crowd, like, taking advantage of a hot start, like the crowds are fresh, and a match like this served its purpose, you could say. If this match is a classic, I'd say yes. It's probably one of the best TV matches in AEW history, probably ever. And this was possibly the best. Like I might be jumping a gun a little here. So the finish, you could say, was like the perfect way you could have kept both of these stars strong, because it was all about who was the better wrestler, and the finish just served its purpose in that sense.
Was it a classic? I don't know, but was it a great match? 100% yes, it was. And I don't know. Yeah, the finish. It really made sense protecting both men here. Like we were kind of predicting who's gonna go over. Should it be Danielson? Should it be Omega? Will Omega take another loss as champion? But great finish, great decision. The match was great, and the crowd went insane before the bell even rang. That says a lot about
Yes.
both of these guys.
Yes, it was like comparing it to Hogan versus Rock at WrestleMania 18. The crowd was just electric from the start throughout the match. It was wow. But this had, like, proper technical wrestling, and it had its big moments, etc. What more could you ask for?
So Danielson made his first entrance. Then Omega came out. Danielson is super over with this crowd, and yeah, like we were talking about the stare down. Before the bell even rang, crowd is going insane. Once the bell rang, we get a standing ovation from the New York faithfuls, and they took a while. Both men took a while to just feel the energy, which I liked. And yeah, and the crowd was so loud we couldn't even figure out, watching through our screens what they were chanting. Were they chanting, yes, this is awesome, holy shit? But then we got to know they were
Fight
trying,
forever.
yeah, fight forever, everything, but they were trying to chant, you're gonna get your fucking head kicked in. They're trying that, but it came
Yes.
off little off sync, I guess. They tried
Yeah,
their
it
best.
was a little, and you could see like the war prints on both of these guys' chests and like throughout their upper bodies. This was a war, and like my brother was watching this along with me, and he enjoyed it. He's not like a very big wrestling fan, but he certainly enjoyed it.
And is it just me, or we didn't see 100% Brian Danielson, like the vicious Brian Danielson that he promised? But I think he held it a little back, I guess.
Saving it for like an even bigger occasion, probably.
Yeah. Then he's going to destroy his opponent.
Yes, like the vicious
Brian
Bryan
Danielson.
Danielson. And I was gonna say Daniel Bryanson, so that's the vicious Bryan Danielson that you're saying. Like, you is pretty well known in ROH, and we got to see we got to see some glimpses of that, like, the fucking head kicked in chance, and like, I've got till five, and the like, he was just stomping into Kenny. So we got to see like some glimpses of that. Like, this was more like we were seeing Daniel Bryan, but like with a small tinge of Bryan Danielson. So, you could see like that could be an evolution in itself. So as his, the honeymoon period is over in AEW, like, he's just still soaking into the adulation of the crowd. What do they love him for? So the more we are going to see more of that, like, gradually, like, when he even goes full batshit insane and just beats people up for real.
But let's talk some highlights. So they did start with some great technical wrestling, and Danielson is coming off as the smartest guy in the room. So they're doing all the technical stuff. Omega would get the upper hand with the chops and stuff. Danielson would fire back with chops and kicks, and this was the theme of the entire match. They would chop each other. Danielson would kick the shit out of Omega. So Danielson was trying to go for that joint what do you call it? Bending the arms,
Cattle
bending the
made.
fingers. Yeah.
Yes,
So
joint manipulation.
Danielson was in full control after it obey, and from there it was for a while Danielson was in control. Then Omega would get some advantage, and Danielson was targeting the arm, which was would set up for the label lock in the end. So we would see some old school moves from Danielson, like the cat-eye mutilation. Omega was able to escape that. So there was this spot where both men were outside on the LED screen. So I think Danielson was doing the yes cakes. He's going for that big roundhouse cake. Omega misses that and hits a devastating dragon suplex on the ramp. So this was you could say, a crucial part of the match. Then Omega went on the top of the ramp and got a jump start and hit a big running V trigger. Nearly killed Danielson here. And speaking about killing, did you see that buckle bomb? I don't know if it was a botch or intentional, but boy, that was insane. Like, he didn't connect the buckles, but Danielson
The
almost,
ropes.
you know, fell on the ropes and almost died. So, really scary spot. So we get into the deep waters of the match. They're exchanging moves, big moves after big moves. Like Omega is hitting vicious V triggers, and Danielson at one point hit a brutal looking, rolling elbow or something like that. And the match is going very well. Crowd is eating everything up, and we didn't even realize that we are in the final minutes of this match. So they're exchanging these big moves, and Danielson, he locks in the label lock. So I think Omega was just close to tap out, but we went to a time limit draw. And I really found the way this match ended. I think Justin Roberts forgot to, I think he didn't give us the last 10-second call or something. He just said that we have 1 minute remaining in this match.
Yes,
So
you don't they usually do it like when there are 10 minutes remaining into this match. So I think he probably must have missed that. And then when Brian was going for the label lock, and like he was going in that Rings of Saturn / lockjaw position for Omega to give Brian more leverage and certainly more damage to Omega as he was working on that arm. And I think yeah, that's when we got to know that there are only few minutes remaining. But I think he usually does it periodically, like there are 10 minutes and then there are 5 minutes and then the last minute of this match. So that was the only time we got to know, like, the time limit is about to expire. But regardless, like, you were so invested into this match, I think it worked in that sense, because had he kept reminding us, then probably we would just be concerned about the time limit more than the match. So fair play. That's it, I guess.
So we went to a time limit draw. Crowd is booing. Of course, they wanted a finish, but sadly they won't be getting one here. So then we see the super click, that is Adam Cole and the Young Bucks come out to I think at this point Danielson had still had the label lock on Omega, and they had to
Hmm.
break up the submission here, and they would
And
end
then
up.
both were exchanging strikes, and then they were like, the time limit has expired. And then these guys are just separated by referees. And then, the super click comes out. They're checking on Kenny whether he was okay. And Brian was just getting to his feet. Like he was looked at by Aubrey, and there was, I think, another EMT guy. And while he was just there in the corner and the super click super kicks him, and the Jurassic Express and Christian, they come out in aid for Brian, and they have like a mini brawl, and then the Super Click escape, setting things in motion for the Rampage match, the trios match on Rampage.
Okay, so now you have Omega versus Danielson out of the way. Omega is claiming now you are not getting any rematch. Nada, he said. So
At least for now, because Brian still has to enter the ranking system, get some wins, and then challenge Omega for the championship later on. So it's fine that way.
what is
You couldn't have seen any of these guys taking a loss, and so this sets in motion for Brian to enter the pool. So because he'll be motivated to get a lick at Omega's title, and then climb his way up in the rankings and face Omega again. Because this match was about who was the better wrestler, and Brian was like, at least for now, I don't need the championship. I just want to know who's the better wrestler. So there you go.
But what's the guarantee? What's the guarantee that Omega stays champion by the point we get another rematch between these two guys?
I mean, probably, if Omega wins it again later, but all signs are pointing towards a possible, fingers crossed, a possible Hangman return and him winning the championship from Omega, because that story still needs its own conclusion slash extension, you could say.
We'll have to wait and see, but pretty great stuff here. I don't know about the, is this match a classic or not? I think I need to give this a second watch.
Probably, yeah. I enjoyed the hell out of it the first time. I'll just rewatch it because how great it was. Probably. It's a definite 5-star match from Meltzer, that's for sure.
Okay. Congratulations for Brian Danielson for his first 5-star match ever.
All it took for him was jump to AEW.
But pretty crazy, right? That he didn't get at least one 5-star match from Nelson.
I mean, neither did The Rock and Randy Orton, but in Rock's case, he was more of a flasher slash entertainer. With Orton, you could say like he was, and screw that. Neither does Kurt Angle have a 5-star match in his career.
Kind of makes
But
sense.
It's okay.
I don't know. Kind of makes sense.
Probably like when he was wrestling as Perk Angle, and he was just going hell for leather, and even then he didn't get a 5-star match, which is kind of strange. But again, like it's just one man's opinion, so there is nothing to get mad about. No matter who you are, our future is gone.